Analysis, as you can realize by now, is the key word. We're talking about analysis. We've analyzed the business environment. We started with something very large. We then moved to market analysis. We looked in the market. We spoke about competitive analysis because within the markets we have competition. And it's about time we speak about the target audiences, segmentation. To segment is crucial because you have to allocate resources. You have to know who are you concentrated at. When small businesses tell me, listen, whoever is coming is welcome. Whoever will step in my shop, my business is more than welcome. This is not the issue. You have to know in advance who are you talking to. Who are you communicating with? Once you have a small budget to advertise, who is the person on the other side receiving the message? Is it everybody? Probably not. We have to segment for many reasons. Segmentation is something quite advanced. And let's look about 4 or 5 ways. Let's look at 4 or 5 ways how to segment. Let's start with the basics, segmenting by the book. What do you think is segmenting by the book? Okay, somebody might say age. By age, I want younger people, older people. Gender. Demographics, I heard the word here in class. Demographics is very much right. So I can put it aside and write demographics. Okay, again, sorry for the handwriting. Really, it's an endless list. It's an endless list, and this is what you learn once you have to think about marketing as an introduction to marketing. They tell you, listen, segmenting by geography is okay, segmenting by demographics makes sense, but is it practical? If I'm looking for target audiences to sit in this class, and I'm looking for people who have a business, small and medium-sized business, in Europe, speaking English, understanding English, able to try to travel and to come all the way to here, this is my target audience. Can I ask people in the streets, in your countries, and say, excuse me, do you speak English? More or less. They'll tell you. Would you like to learn more about a marketing plan, how to write a marketing plan? Maybe not. Okay, thank you very much, I don't need you. These attributes are true for planning only. They are not practical. You cannot walk in the street and say, excuse me, how much do you make a year? Okay, you're not really the type of person I'm looking for my business, because I'm looking for somebody who makes more money or less money. So this, again, is very much right to start with and to know about it, but it's less practical. So for your marketing plans, this is almost irrelevant. And the list is endless. In every country you have a National Institute of Statistics. Sometimes it's called the Central Bureau of Statistics. Sometimes it's an association, obviously non-for-profit, a governmental often, or semi-governmental. You don't really need that. Much more important is to talk about terms like that. Can you segment by needs? Do you really understand the people who are coming to your business because they need what you sell them? And often the question is, do they really need what you sell them, or they need the attention that you provide them? You're welcoming people, you're greeting them, you're communicating with them. Why people who are elderly and seem to be alone sometimes, lonely, come to bars, to coffee shops and sit there for hours for a coffee? Why? Is it the coffee that they need? They need really the coffee. They have a coffee at home, even better than yours maybe sometimes. They want the human contact. They want to come to you, have a seat, meet some friends maybe, and somebody is interrelating with them. So this is needs. And needs is really psychology. In a very low level, to understand people and to ask them the basic question, why? Why are you coming specifically to our place? Why do you buy specifically ties in our shop? There are many shops. There's always other possibilities. There are always many possibilities. Why do you buy it only with us? Think about these youngsters going to a fitness center. They have a membership card, and you ask them, why do you go to a fitness center? They'll tell you to look better, maybe to feel better, and then ask again, why do you want to feel better? They might tell you, listen, we want to meet girls or guys. It's easier for us if we feel more comfortable with the way we look. So there's a second level and a third level. And the more times you ask why and you go in depth with your customer that comes to your business, in a very polite way, of course, without harming anyone, why are you coming to us every Tuesday for the last 5 years? And then ask why again, you might realize what are the real needs. And sometimes the real needs really go back to a level of basic psychological terms like self-confidence. So we're not talking about psychology, but we have to understand marketing is a behavioral science. We're talking about a behavioral science. We have to understand how people behave when they buy something from us, and mainly the question, why do they buy it from us? So we have now so far 2 ways to segment, which is practical, which is theoretical. Whenever we speak about segmentation, we can think about different people. Who is buying the product? Who bought this tie? I'm the user. I'm putting this tie today on me. Who bought it from me? Is it myself, or in this case, my wife? Who has influenced my wife to do so? Who has gathered information about ties, where to buy them, what quality? And let's take an example. Let's take this simple example. The user might be my daughter. I have 2 daughters, and I've taken this from them as an illustration. So with their permission, they're the users. Who bought it for them? The grandmother. Grandmother went and bought it for her grandchildren, my daughter. Influencer, who asked or who influenced my mother-in-law, the grandmother of our kids, to buy this? Who has influenced her to buy that? Maybe my wife, her daughter. Who is the information gatherer? Might be me. This is a real story. When I travel, and I'm often traveling around, I feel that I need to give a comfort and give some kind of almost indemnity to my kids. I'm far away, they don't have their father nearby, and I'm talking to my wife, telling her, listen, why don't you ask your mother to help you to buy the kids something? So I'm launching the need. My wife talks to the mother-in-law, to my mother-in-law, to her mother. She's buying that. And finally my kid is buying that and is playing with it. And each time I see this, it's a good souvenir. But it's also to remember that my 2 daughters are missing me at the moment. This is just an example of these 5 levels. There are 5 levels, there's another level, but these are the 4 main levels. Okay? So whenever we speak about segmenting, think about the different levels. Let's look at